The school bus always carried a mix of noise, laughter, and whispers every morning, but that day something felt heavier in the air. The wheels screeched against the road, the metal body rattling, and the students filled every seat with chatter. In the middle of it all sat a new girl, her head slightly bent, clutching her worn-out backpack as if it was the only shield between her and the world. Her name was Emily Carter, freshly transferred from another town, a quiet soul with sharp, observant eyes that most people overlooked. She had only been at Ridgewood High for 2 days, but already whispers about her had spread across the bus. 3 boys, Tyler, Brent, and Marcus, sat at the back. They were troublemakers, the self-proclaimed kings of the school bus. Their reputation wasn't earned through talent or charm, but through intimidation. They laughed louder than anyone, pushed harder than anyone, and made sure no one forgot their presence. And when their eyes landed on Emily, their smirks grew dangerous. Tyler nudged Brent and whispered loud enough for the nearby seats to hear, "Look at her. Sitting all quiet like she's too good for us." Brent chuckled. "Maybe she thinks she's better than this school. Time to show her where she belongs." Marcus cracked his knuckles, eyes glinting with mischief. "Let's make the bus ride fun today." The 3 stood up as the bus bumped along, moving toward Emily's seat. Students began to fall silent. Conversations died down. Everyone knew what it meant when those boys stood up. Nobody dared to interfere. They had seen too many victims humiliated, too many kids crying after a ride home. Some kids even slid further into their seats, hoping not to be noticed. Emily felt their shadows before she even looked up. She tightened her grip on her backpack and finally raised her eyes. The boys towered over her, blocking her in. Tyler leaned close, his voice mocking. "So, new girl, what's your name again? Emma, Elsie, or do we just call you Nobody?" Brent snorted, adding, "Nobody sounds perfect." "You think you can just sit here, quiet, ignoring us? Doesn't work like that." Emily didn't reply. Her silence only fueled their irritation. Marcus slammed his hand against the seat, making a loud thud that jolted nearby students. "Answer when we talk to you," he barked. Emily's lips parted, but the words were shaky. "Emily, my name's Emily." Tyler smirked cruelly. "Well, Emily, welcome to the real Ridgewood High bus. There are rules here. You either give us what we want, or we make the ride unforgettable." A ripple of nervous laughter broke out from a few kids at the back, the kind that comes from fear more than amusement. Emily's heart raced, but she kept her gaze steady. Inside, the memories clawed at her. The nights her father used to tell her she was stronger than she believed. The mornings her brother taught her never to back down even if her voice trembled. She wasn't weak, but she also wasn't reckless. Not yet. Brent yanked her backpack, pulling it out of her arms. He unzipped it and dumped its contents onto the bus floor. Books, notebooks, a pencil case that rolled under the seats. The students gasped. "Oops," Brent mocked. "Clumsy me." Marcus kicked her notebook down the aisle. "Wes, you'll have to crawl for it, Nobody." Emily clenched her fists, her knuckles white. For a moment, she considered staying quiet, picking her things up once they lost interest. But something burned inside her. Not anger, not yet, but a fire that whispered, "Don't let them take everything." She stood slowly, her small frame dwarfed by their size. Her voice was low but steady. "Give me my bag back." The boys exchanged looks, surprised at her tone. Tyler grinned wider, leaning closer until his nose almost brushed hers. "Or what?" "You'll cry." The bus driver, oblivious up front with loud music humming from his radio, didn't notice the chaos. Students stayed frozen, no one willing to speak up. Emily's eyes locked on Tyler's. For the first time, he saw something different in her gaze, something sharp, almost daring. But before he could process it, Brent shoved her back into her seat. The bus jolted, her shoulder hitting the window. "You don't talk to us like that," Brent growled. Emily inhaled deeply, calming her trembling chest. She bent down, quickly scooping her scattered belongings. She refused to crawl, but she also refused to show tears. She picked up her pencil case, her books, sliding them into her backpack with quiet precision. The boys laughed louder, mistaking her silence for surrender. "See, she knows her place," Marcus sneered. But Emily's silence wasn't surrender. It was strategy. For the rest of the bus ride, the boys continued taunting her, shoving the back of her seat, throwing small paper balls at her head. Yet Emily didn't break. She stared out of the window, her reflection in the glass reminding her of who she was. Someone who had endured worse, someone who wasn't about to give them the satisfaction of her tears. When the bus finally screeched to a halt at school, Emily walked out slowly, her backpack tight against her shoulders. The boys called after her, their laughter echoing, but she didn't turn back. What none of them knew was that this was just the beginning. Emily wasn't going to remain silent forever. The fire inside her was only waiting for the right moment to strike. And when it did, those three boys would remember the day they chose the wrong girl to corner. Because while three boys stood together, there was always a last man standing. And that part of the story had yet to be written.